Today, it's D-Day for forced sales. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics, one of this post covering finance and property news. This is an urgent news flash with Edwin Almeida. Hi, Edwin.
G'day, Martin. How you going?
Yeah, pretty good. And we should explain to people that you're on audio only because you're actually travelling between appointments. But this was such an important conversation that we wanted to have, so we're bringing it hot off the press.
Hot off the press as I'm inspecting mortgagee in possession properties that I've been speaking with some of the agents, and one in the southwest region, an old mate of mine that runs three big offices from a main franchise group. He let me know that he's got some mortgagee in possessions. They're starting to come in, Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, Edwin, because you and I have been talking about this for some time. We knew that before COVID and into COVID, there were a number of small businesses that were really struggling, and things have not got better. And so in my surveys, some of the early stress, the most significant stress, is to do with the small business sector.
That's correct. Because I asked, his name's Peter, and I said, Pete, why have they come in? Or give me a little bit of background without divulging too much, because obviously he's got a fiduciary duty to the banks and the legal legals there. So bottom line is these are properties that were from individuals that were owned by individuals and companies that were already in trouble pre-pandemic. As you know, we're speaking about, even our sector, the real estate industry sector, was in trouble in 2019, and the pandemic actually saved it. So these are from people that have been running very low, overdrawn on the equity of the principal places of residence, as well as the investment properties.
Yeah, absolutely. And which parts of Sydney are we talking about here, Edwin? Is it sort of southwest Sydney, or is it more widely spread than that?
Well, from Pete's conversations with the banks and the receivers, they're actually looking very closely, and they believe that a lot of them are going to come from the properties in the western region of Sydney, as well as the southwest. He's got two that are. That they're in negotiations with, obviously, the banks, or the marketing campaigns that the banks want to provide and so forth, but one's already live. Interestingly enough, early this morning, I saw Parapower put up a couple of mortgagee in possession listings in Sydney. One was in Maryland, and the other one was over in towards the Quakers Hill side of Sydney. So, but when you do a bit of background research on these properties, you find that they're investment properties, or when you talk to the agents, they'll also tell you that they won't tell you, the average punter, that they'll tell us, give us a bit more background. So this is what I'm finding. So when I reached out to my friend, he said, he's got 3 on the go himself. And he's getting a lot more calls because he deals with banks. He has dealt in the past with banks. He's been in the industry for 35 years and running 3 big offices for a major franchise. Obviously, he gets his first cab off the rank for the banks and the receivers to contact him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's consistent with my surveys, as I say, and I think this is just the early part of the cycle, because with interest rates now rising, of course, that's going to put more pressure on small businesses who are finding it harder ever to get funding than previously. And I agree also property investors. So some property investors are really underwater already. So I think this is early signs of more to come, I would say.
Look, it is, but let's also make it very, very clear to our followers, our viewers, and that is, these are properties that the banks have been green lit. They got the green light to basically move into. Although they're residential properties, they are tied up with businesses and commercial loans, which is what you and I have been talking about even over the last 12 months or so. As early as even 3 months ago, we mentioned that the first properties that the banks will move into, although they'll be residential properties, are ones that have commercial loans, cross-collateralized with the equity in that property, or they're tied up with companies or property trusts And so it's not your average mum and dad yet. It's more the ones that are tied up with businesses or business loans and so forth.
Absolutely. Well, it's consistent. I think, we knew this was going to be the first cab or two off the rank. So we'll keep an eye on it, Edwin, and I appreciate the urgent update. We'll get this posted today so that people are aware of what's happening on the ground today.
Look, definitely. And keep an eye on those numbers. And, it's still that bloody cat's still bouncing around. There's still a little bit of panic out there.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree on the listings front, the sales front, and now the for sales front. Edwin, appreciate your time. Take care, happy driving, and we'll chat again.
We'll do. All the best, Martin. Take care.
Bye bye.